We have 5 days left. 5 days until Belonging Chosen Young Adults is kicking off. So, in regards to that, you guys get to come hang out with me in Sermon Prepping Tuesday. Let's get to it. So the worst part and the best part about Sermon Prepping Tuesday is my favorite part. And that's I have no idea what I'm doing. Still don't, probably never will. So in response, we're going to the prayer closet and we are going to pray for God to show us what to preach on. And then we're just going to move with that. So if God doesn't show up, then it's going to suck, but he usually does. So let's get it. So I've never recorded myself praying. It's kind of weird, but we have the tripod set up here. We're going to set this up. I'm going to go in there and we'll just do a time lapse until I get back. So see you then. As you guys may or may not have been able to tell from that time lapse, it was pretty quick. But we were in there for a couple of hours and we have got what we needed. I'm going to set up a camera and then you guys will watch me get into the other part of sermon prep. All right, we are back. We're ready to take the download we got from the Lord and put it inside the laptop. So I'm ready to go for this Sunday. But hey, I wanted to speak to you guys for a minute about what kind of just happened. It showed me going into the prayer closet. I showed a couple hours passing by while I was in there. And I just want to speak to that because from what I've been able to tell, that's fairly unfamiliar for a lot of Christians, even a lot of preachers. And the reason I do that is I don't want to preach my own message or preach a message that seems good to me. I want the Lord to tell me what he wants me to speak. And when I go into the prayer closet, I never know how it's going to go. It's God speaking into me, telling me to sit there and worship, to sit there and wait, to sit there until he tells me otherwise. So it can be hours and hours and hours. And on top of that, you just never want to leave. It's the most beautiful place on earth. So that's one thing I want to get into. I'm going to start typing this out, but I'm very careful whenever I'm doing sermons or messages because I don't want it to be articulated well. Right now, I'm getting it from the iPad over to the laptop in a way that I can remember it, not in a way that's articulated well. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, I believe, is if I preach this gospel with a well-mannered way or in a fancy way, as we would say nowadays, he's stripping the cross of its glory. He's stripping it of its value. So he just wants to preach the cross and the cross alone. So whenever I go up, I'm not trying to make it fancy. I just want it to glorify Jesus and leave a lot of room for the Spirit of God to move. So we'll put a time lapse on. I'll get this done and then I'll check in and that will probably be a wrap. All right, we are back and we are finished with majority of the sermon writing. Obviously, the Spirit will speak to me throughout the week and we will update and add to it. But that is a mostly conclusion for the day. If you want to hear this live, then you guys already know what to do. Pull Up Sunday, 7 p.m. We will see you there. Until then, take care.